Men and women, y'all aren't going to believe this one. Watch
My perfect man would be a tall black stallion. He loves to cook because I'm not really a good cook, so that's his thing. He loves driving. He loves driving the kids to school in the morning. He's just really, really hands-on. With my kids. He's sterile because he can't have kids of his own, so he really cherishes mine. He's funny. We do movie quotes all the time. Every time we go around, we just laugh and do karaoke. He's smart. He is very good with the money. He takes care of all that, and he just lets me, make the beds and.
Hit that like button and share this stream if you're not a beta male.
It's been an honor serving with you all. Autobots, roll out!
We roll. Nanobots, transform. All right, Nanobots, it's time to transform in modern America. And I decided to do this show, guys, because this show is a reflection of what so many men go through in dating and modern relationships. This is a good friend of mine, and in this video, what we're going to be exploring is some of the shenanigans of modern women, the lack of self-awareness, and how the lack of self-awareness not only is causing them to be alone, but how the lack of self-awareness is putting them in a quagmire that can be detrimental long-term to relationships and also on family. So let's look at this. Let's break down this diary of a mad black woman. And you're not going to believe, guys, the delusions associated with this lady. So let's break this down in this reaction, therapist reaction. And so you guys can see some of the shenanigans of this woman and her delusions around relationships. Let's break it down.
Like you really don't want to give the due credit. Like
no, I'm not dismissing the protest and the fight for equality. I'm saying that because of the attention, right? That came to this issue, men approved it. Thus, the protesting stopped, right?
Okay, so again, women are just, we were damsels in distress, and men just came in and say.
So basically, this woman is minimizing the accomplishments of men in general, but more or less the accomplishments of men and their contributions to civilization. We know and understand that men and women both play a role in society, but to be in denial about what black men have done and men in general have done shows you the level of cognitive distortion that modern women have. I'm going to limit my responses in this video. I'm just going to let you guys listen, but I'm going to stop it off and on primarily to add context to the story and let you guys form your own opinion.
Saved the day on little white horses. And women just, we just out here living off the backs of men. We work as a unit. We always back up and I guess to what you said in the beginning, us working as a unit, we have to work as a group. So yes, while I'll nurture the inside, you do the physical part on the outside. But if it wasn't for me on the inside getting you the work done, getting you the work to be done, you wouldn't have anything to do.
So what
it wasn't for you
doing
the work, I lose my job because now I'm getting contracts and work, but I don't have anybody to give it to.
So what I'm saying is that you think if push came to shove and things really needed to get done, do you think that they just would not ever get done because you're not there to point and say this is where to go?
I'm not saying that. No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that it would never get done. I'm saying it would be chaotic.
Okay, so
and I'm only saying that walking into positions that I've walked into.
So she said it would be chaotic. And what it sounds like what this woman is doing, it sounds like she's trying to reassert modern men to men of past. It wouldn't be chaotic because if that was the case, then how and why did men get it done? That goes back to the evolution and the deminimization or the minimization of masculinity and how it continues to permeate in some of the minds of so many people in modern times. Once again, men and women both add clarity and substance to relationships, but to continue to minimize what men have done is not only paramount or problematic, but it's an issue. It's an issue that more or less needs to be addressed.
And it was just straight chaos.
But people would pull together, men would pull together, and the work would get done. Right?
Men like women. Women tend to be catty about it, but they get it done. Men, it's a pissing contest. So there, before y'all can get the work done, you got to spend X amount of time. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is where I'm to school. This is what I do. Why am I not doing this? Why am I doing this? There's so much that has to go on before y'all actually get the work done.
So you think most of the structures, not to cut you off, but so you think most of the structures that exist today that have been constructed for years, hundreds of years, you think they never got done because a woman was? You think the reason they got done because a woman was?
You're talking about hundreds of years ago, and I don't mean to cut you off. I guess at this point we don't have to say that to each other. We're just having a conversation, which I kind of liked because most people don't know how to have a conversation. So I really like that about you. But you're talking about hundreds of years ago.
No, I'm talking about up till now. The things that are in place, you think it's because it didn't get
hundreds of years ago doesn't equate to now. It's two totally different aspects. It's two totally different things. But now, if you took women out the workforce now, men would struggle. If you took men out of the workforce, women would struggle. As much as anybody hates to say
okay, so let's you said that right. So the thing is, if you say
men would not struggle if men were out of the workforce. That's a misnomer in my opinion. I don't think the men would by and large struggle if they were out of the workforce. I don't think no man in his right mind would think the men would struggle if they were out of the workforce. Especially in those societies where the men are very patriarchal and strong. I don't think that would happen. But guys, tell me what y'all think.
If you took women out the workforce,
men would
struggle, but do you think the work would still get done?
Haphazardly, yes.
All right, so but the answer is a yes, it will get done.
Half-assed. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the niceness off of my haphazardly and put that half-assed on there. Yes.
So check this, right? All the miles, thousands of miles of railroad that are established in this country, you think
you're going back now? You're going back on years again.
No, I mean, if it was true back then, it'll be true. It's true now too.
No.
I mean,
so
why
you don't
not
believe in change? Because things that you realize this ain't the same world. The where we growing up now, and I can't say now. I'm sorry. Before I even say that, how old are you? Before I say what I'm gonna say.
I'm 49 years old.
Okay, so you're a generation before me. Okay, so I'm going to use my grandparents as an example so we should be able to both follow along with that. You're talking about generations ago. You're talking about hundreds of years ago. When you start talking about now, in the now, it is different. It is different, and I honestly think that is where a lot of the problems come in, because a lot of men don't see. They just go, oh. You're using the platform of tradition, not realizing that traditions change. Traditions do not remain the same. Over the course of time, traditions change. So yes, 1,000 years ago.
Basic traditions of human evolution don't change. There might be some nuances of tradition that might change, but traditionally it's always been established in foreign countries and countries abroad. Man, woman, children, family. That tradition have not changed. So this woman is either being willfully ignorant, or she's not aware that there are some traditions that may change in part, but overall, traditional families don't change.
100 years ago, 400 years ago, when we were chained together, singing these Negro spirituals, building these railroads, yes, that was a thing. But you move forward.
Building these railroads. This woman said building railroads. What railroads do women in general help men build? We're not saying that maybe perhaps a percentage of women help on the railroads, but in general, what railroads do women help men build? I'm waiting to figure that out.
To today, women are just as capable as men. And I'm hoping that you see that, and that I'm just misunderstanding what you're saying.
Are you saying women are just as capable of as men physically?
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna preface it before I say the yes. I'm gonna preface it with, you a bricklayer, I'm a bricklayer. You build a house, I build a house. Does that make me stronger than you, or you stronger than me, or did we build the same house together?
The thing is, my question still stands, right?
I need you to answer me.
No, you didn't answer mine.
Oh, go ahead then, sweetheart. I'll answer your question.
Do you think women can do just as much physically as a man can? Do you think that they have the physical strength and ability to do things when it comes to physical labor, that
Yes.
they can lift as much, they can carry as much?
We may not be able to carry it in the same tote that you might be able to carry it in. So you might be able to carry 100 pounds at a time, and I'm only doing 75 pounds at a time.
Right. So he can move more over distance in time than you can.
But you can only do that for an hour. Now I'm doing 75 pounds an hour for 5 hours. You doing 100 pounds, and now at 100 pounds for that hour, you're done. This is where it back to
Where do you get this from? That he's done in an hour.
The same place you get yours. It was just an example. That's all. It was an example, which is why I prefaced it with, I'm going to give you an example.
I think that's a crock. But I've actually I've been in physical labor situations in my younger years. I mean, I do physical labor now, but it's more technical. And so the thing is, Cindy she bid on a job, and she came up and she could not physically move as much as the men, but she was getting the same pay. And so, that there was some controversy that came up there, because the guys were being hounded about keeping up with their normal numbers, and she was there making the same pay and wasn't doing even half as much as they could. And when she stayed busy all day and still couldn't keep up. So I mean, and I know that's one anecdotal situation, but I think that's true across the board, right?
So if that's the case, right? So let's just we're going to use Cindy and your situation as an example. Cindy couldn't keep up with the physical labor, so people thought Cindy, I'm going to just use her name, Cindy, should not have been making the same pay, right? All right. Move that over to the corporate world. Men do not keep up half as well as women in the corporate world. However, we have to work twice as hard to prove who we are to make half as much. Is it fair? Is it a fair assessment to say that if you move that over to the corporate world, men should only be making half of what they make now because you can't keep up with what we're doing?
Well, where this woman is falsely equivocating, she's falsely equivocating and making a false assumption that black men in general have the same rights as other ethnic minorities and men, more or less white men. Black men, carte blanche, don't have that kind of power in the corporate world. So she's making a false general assumption about black men and equivocating them to white men that are in power. But they always clump in black men with those in power to give a false narrative about some victimhood or victim Olympics or oppression, which is an issue in my opinion.
I beg to differ. I don't think that's true at all. I think men can do.
They can't. I've seen it. I'm physically living it. They can't.
It's because they don't decide to. That's why.
Nah. I'm doing the work with them. I'm producing what 3 men can't produce. They're working 65 to 70 hours a week. I'm working 12. I work 12 hours a week most weeks. If I have to clock my time, if they ever sat me down and said, hey, can you account for your time? And I say, yep, okay, I did this, and this. 12 hours in a work week. I'm getting done what 3 men can't get done in 75 hours a piece. Because I know what I'm doing. I'm focusing. I'm not fumbling. 12 hours.
So what appreciation do you have for men?
I have a great, hold on. So I think we got off on a tangent there. I have a great appreciation for men. I have a great appreciation for what they can do. The only thing that I ask of men is that they do not depreciate what women do and bring to the table. We are not barefoot, bare.
But what men are depreciating what women can do? That, in my opinion, is a byproduct of penis envy. Most men, they are very docile and egalitarian compared to other ethnic groups of men if you travel abroad. This projection based on feeling inferior is not an issue of the man that she was dating, but it's a projection of her own issues that she's dealing with because she wants the perceived power and rights that men have, not understanding that the power and rights that men have comes with a great responsibility.
Back in baby carriers. We are much more than that. And all I ask is that respect that you expect be reciprocated.
And you know, and the thing is, that's, you know, I get that you want that part of you to be honored, right? So when I speak of the current infrastructure, this infrastructure hadn't been in place for a long time. It's only been in probably the last 70 years that it's really been like it is, right? Where you working in air-conditioned places and stuff like that, you know, it's all because of the creation of electricity. And men had to go miles and miles up under the mountain, risking their lives to mine coal so that we can have electricity and air conditioning for you to work in those comfortable places.
May I ask a question? So, just from listening to you speak, you all were like the saviors and we were the damsels in distress?
How else was it?
Oh, you were serious. Okay. You meant that. That was an answer. Like, you gave a solid answer there without saying yes or no. Okay.
How else was it?
We weren't damsels in distress.
How not so? Like,
oh, I can't even say. I'm not even gonna speak from them. Women are not damsels in distress. We are not waiting for.
So what's a damsel in distress?
We are not like what movie have you ever watched Shrek or Snow White?
It's been a while.
Okay, where them women was just laying there waiting on the knight in shining armor to come save them. Women aren't like that anymore.
Were they like that then?
Not all, no.
Come on.
But I can't say that they weren't. That not all women were like that, no. But again, you're thinking back then. Like, at what point are we going to bring our thought process up to this century?
No, the thing is, you have to understand the only reason you're able to talk like you're talking is because of the work that was put in beforehand by me.
So a man is the only reason that I'm able to sit here and speak right now.
Yeah, to speak like you're speaking about your profession and what you do. Yes, of course. Yes. I mean, how? Tell me another way that you.
So don't give my credit to don't. So it's not because I worked hard. It's not because I had the wherewithal and the skill set to be able to get 3 master's degrees and be able to do what I'm doing today. It's because some man set a path for me that I walked on like hot coal and got to where I am.
You have to look at it like this. Men, we built the school that you went to get that master's degree.
That's what we're going to. Okay. So,
yeah. I mean, just like you saying you want appreciation for what you do, right? First, you have to give appreciation for what provided you to get what you got. You didn't get it in and of yourself. Somebody helped you get there. And that's what's not being acknowledged.
You right. A man did help me get there, my daddy.
Yeah.
You're right. And I give him the credit.
And even before that, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There were no, whatever college you went to, It didn't exist 150 years ago. It was not there. Somebody had to build the institution, institute the curriculum, and a strong majority of that was done by men, so that life can be easier for the women. But our women have gotten to a place where they don't look back and cast an appreciation for what men did, for them to have and enjoy what they have now. And that's pretty sad. Because it's easy. It's easy.
That I'm not. So it's sad that I'm not. So
No, it's sad in general for women to not acknowledge what men have done.
So I'm sitting in my house that I paid for, that a man built. I'm sure it might have been a woman or two involved, but hell if I know, because I bought it and I didn't come out here and watch him build it. I just said, hey, I want that.
I put money on it. Not one woman worked on your property and built it. I put money on it.
I ain't gonna. That's fine. I'm not. Let me tell you, I'm an avid gambler. I am in North Carolina, Florida, Indiana. I'm gambling at Las Vegas all the time. I'm not gonna put no money on that one because I don't know. I can't speak for it because I wasn't here to watch them. My job was to cut the checks. However, there is not now nor ever a time that I am going to say that I'm going to discredit myself from the work that I put in to live how I'm living and to do what I'm doing, and then say I can only do it because a man let me do it.
It ain't about letting you. A man paved the way for you to have it.
Nah. My ancestors, the female ones that sat on buses or, stood up and was hosed down and things like that, those were the ones. Because it wasn't men that stood up and asked for voting rights for women. Those were women that did that. Not men. Men were opposed to that. Women did that.
Yeah, they stood up for it, but men had to. Are you saying that men
stood on the front lines?
Right. Are you saying that men didn't cast the votes to get that approved?
You really have a thing against women.
No, I'm just
don't want to give the due credit.
No, I'm not dismissing the protest and the fight for equality. I'm saying that because of the attention, right? That came to this issue, men approved it. Thus, the protesting stopped, right?
Okay, so again, women are just, we were damsels in distress, and men just came in and saved the day on little white horses, and women just, we just out here living off the backs of men. What the hell?
I mean, I don't see how I don't see the problem in acknowledging what men have done. Like I drive down the highways, right? They're doing
what's crazy is you can tell me all this that men have done, and women should give men this, and women should give men that, and women should give men this. Not one time have I heard out your mouth that men should give women and acknowledge women and or give them the credit for the things that they've done.
Well, I'm not against that. The thing is, I'm on first things first, right? In order for it to have gotten to where it is, men created what you see and what you have now. And so the thing is, yes, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you've done. Right? But to not give credit for the foundation that was laid in order for these things to come to fruition is just kind of asinine to me.
Okay.
I mean, it just, even like Christ building his church, said he built it on a rock, and he created the foundation that Paul talked about in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, and building upon that foundation. And so, I mean, we enjoy the salvation and the life that we have because the work that was done beforehand. We can't take credit for what we now enjoy and the freedom in Christ and the grace and the mercy that we receive that we don't deserve, and totally discredit what Christ done on the cross in order for us to have it. It makes no sense. Why would we not acknowledge the sacrifice that afforded us to have the keys to the kingdom like we have today? So that's the basic fundamental of the thing, right? I think we have to go back to the root of where things started and acknowledge that things would not be this way. And that's what's not happening. There's a massive unappreciation for men when it comes to women today. They just don't want to acknowledge.
And vice versa. It's not that we don't want to acknowledge. You trying to take me back 1,000 years, and I can't get you to understand what's happening today.
Yeah, but the thing is, I totally understand what's happening today because I understand where the foundation was. You don't want to acknowledge the foundation. You just want to acknowledge the finished structure. And so that therein lies an unappreciation where it can be problematic in relationships, and that's taking it back to what started our conversation. I think men today are feel unappreciated, and now that we've gotten this automation of life and the flow of money. And man, people are just on the high hog, and not ever acknowledging the sacrifice in order for it to have gotten where it is today. I mean, I don't see how women can not look at it and have some gratitude.
Okay. All right, then.
I mean, I do. I know it's other men that paved the way for me to have what I have. And I'm thankful for it. When I went to Vegas and looked at Hoover Dam, and I looked at the construction, the biggest construction project in American history, and how men died. They fell hundreds of feet to their death trying to plant dynamite in the mountain to blast and everything. You just didn't see women doing none of that stuff. Now if it was women swinging from them ropes just like men, hey, I would shut up. But men didn't want their women doing that. Nobody wants to see their wife up there doing that stuff. It's just dishonorable. As men, we love our women. We love the softness of our women. We don't want our women coming home with calluses and stuff. And our women wasn't fighting to do it anyway. And when it comes to protecting the land and the war and everything that have went on, we didn't want our women out there facing bullets, and they didn't want to face the bullets. And so, when it come to that Civil War, you had slaves who broke and ran for it to make it to Union lines. And they picked up guns and suited up and turned around and formed their own regiment to fight against their enemies. Why? To protect their freedom and women and children. I don't see how women can't acknowledge where the foundation was. And I think if we acknowledge where the foundation was, then we can have some mutual gratitude for one another. Because I'm sure that those men, they had to have women who cared, who nursed them, nursed their wounds, fed them when they couldn't feed themselves. We're very thankful for the nurturing of women. That's you showing up. When I'm in a, say I'm in a medical emergency or whatever, right? I feel a different thing when a woman is caring for me in a hospital setting versus a man, right? Not that a man can't do it. I think a man is very capable, but I feel another level of comfort when there's a woman present, because I think women are natural nurturers. Because y'all have breasts, right? Your breasts are made for feeding and nurturing your young nutritiously, right? And so that's why I think women are natural nurturers, because they come into the world that way, and their bodies are made for nurturing. And so I'm thankful, very thankful for what women bring, and the comfort they bring, and the healing spirit that they bring to humanity as a whole. But what I don't see is the acknowledgement of the men who stand around as a wall of protection for you to give that nurturing. And no, that's what it is. I think in general, in society today, we're having so much trouble in relationships because there's not enough appreciation going around, and we're equating value with money and how much money you have, and I think that's a big problem in our society when it comes to the relationship between men and women.
I can agree.
Yeah, it's like we're living in a dream right now. It's all a dream, and all it would take is one earthquake, and it will all come crumbling down, and we'll be put right back where we were. Women nurturing, women and men using their muscles to put things back together. And it just, I guarantee you, there will be such a level of appreciation for each other that we don't possess today, right? Because women are able to make money, they're able to go to the store and buy their own groceries and blah, blah, blah. And I don't need a man. I just want you for dick.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left that hard.
I just need you to have to show up in my life, to keep your mouth shut. I don't need your opinions. I just need you to have somewhat of a wallet and a hard penis. That's all I need you for.
You even got to have the wallet. I bring that to the table with me. Like, I get what you're saying, and I get the perspective from women, because women we're not our grandmothers, right? We're not going to just tolerate anything anymore. We're not doing that. And when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, and I think it's what I was telling you said my phone cut off. Women we're not living on this, what you call high hog or high horse, because this is what we want to be. We're living here because this is what you guys have, what men have shown us, right? Men have shown us that with being vulnerable and submissive comes a level of control that's warranted, that we're no longer willing to give, a level of disrespect almost that we're not willing to take because we don't have to. There are some things, like, I'm not saying my grandmothers, because my grandmothers were by no sense of the word on that boat at all. However, there are some women that stayed around.
All right, guys, that's enough of that. It's obvious that she's delusional. Y'all tell me what you think. All right, y'all tell me what y'all think about this delusional modern day black woman. And did she have merit, or was she more or less minimizing the importance of black men? Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Share this stream. And guys, let's band together, black men, black women that are traditional, and continue to deride and decry the issues that are confronting our culture in this modern day, guys. Signing off. Don't forget to hit the like button. Be well, guys.
When men fail to lead, the children rebel and the women take over.
you. Choose positive.